Everybody got to spend money that they really don't have, so they're happy, or at least they should be happy. Hmm. Happy to be poor, I guess, and broke and have nothing to eat and no electricity and have stuff that you really don't want, like rubber ducks or some craziness like that. But that's okay, because those 2 days are down now. So now it's time to get on with the real celebration of the holiday season. It's time to feel your little jaws getting all red from the cold, and your nose getting red, and just a big smile coming on your face from seeing people out there interacting with them and shopping, and just everybody telling how good and great life is. And life is good and great for me sometimes, but I sing my song. I eat alone, all by myself. I eat alone with nobody else. Now I usually eat with my honey, but she won't be home today, so I'll eat alone. If she's listening, I just want her to know, don't worry about me. I'll be all right, because I'll eat alone. Yeah, folks, I'm gonna have some leftover rice, Chinese rice, and a can of oysters. Pop! Right on top. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And if it's not enough, I might just throw a can of tuna fish in there. You know what I'm saying? Leftover rice, can of oysters, and a can of tuna fish. I got it. I eat alone. That's why I eat alone. So, but no, I'm just playing. It's quite all right. Yeah. Hey, I really didn't want to talk today about politics and all this stuff, but I have to. I don't have any choice. I have to talk a little bit about the politics. I have to talk a little bit about on a couple of fronts. Now, I always consider myself a Democrat and stuff, but all I hear on the news is all this stuff like, well, Trump only has so many days to get something big passed or something like that, and I'm wondering why. Well, what really difference does all that have to do with anything? I think if we start having politics to start doing politics instead of worrying about, I mean, it's too late to be worrying about whether you were sexually abuser or something like that in the political realm. Yeah, I mean, you can worry about whether somebody's going to come forward and bring that information out there, you know. But if you didn't do it, don't worry about it. Get to business, man. There's people out there suffering. There's people out there in need of things. This is America. The people, the politicians. That's a privilege to be a politician. It's not. It's not just a big power structure and stuff. You have people's lives in your hands. They're giving you that. They've actually taken their lives and said, okay, here, do the best thing you can for me, because that's why I put you in office, so you can do the best thing to make my life better. And that's what you should be focusing on. Not all this stupid stuff and everything. It's not really stupid, but it is kind of getting to be a real kind of comical thing. Everybody's being charged with some sexual harassment now, and sexual harassment to predators and stuff. They need to be. You need to go. You don't have the people in your heart. That's not your main interest. Is to take care of the people. Your main interest is to do something stupid. So you need not be in politics. You need to go be in construction or a truck driver or out of space or something. I don't know where you need to be, but not in a power seat where you control the destinies for other people. So you just need to go. I don't care really now, because I've been thinking about it now, because it's all over the place. For the smallest little infractions and stuff, it's like, really, you got to go. What's his name? The black representative there.
Moore?
No,
Not Moore.
Cochran, the older guy.
From the Supreme Court?
No. He's a black representative there, and I can't think of his name. It just runs right past me and stuff. And it's big crime. Why are you changing in front of people in your office and stuff? I can understand if you got you're living out of your office and stuff because you're close. You want to be right there for when the bills have to be voted on and stuff, and or you're not as fast as somebody else when it comes to reading all these large papers of nonsense that come down on your desk. So you stay there and you want to change your clothes. And
John
stuff.
Conyers.
Yeah, Conyers. I can understand that, but not. No, got an appointment, so let me change my clothes while the people are coming into the office and stuff like that. It's like, nah, I don't get that. And more so, what I don't get, if you did it once, I mean, people, it's a door. Knock on it. Knock on the door. Tell them you're here. Just don't open the door and walk on in. You gotta knock on the door. And if you open the door and you see the person change, you walk outside and say, okay, when you're done, I'm back. I mean, you gotta use a little bit of your own common sense on some of these issues too. And the other guys, Franken, bye. Bye. You still here? Bye. If you're gonna record what you do, then you're a predator. That's just wrong. You got to go. You don't have anybody's interest at heart but you. Well, I'm a comedian and I thought it was a funny skit and stuff. No, you're supposed to be a senator. You're supposed to be thinking logically so that other people can benefit from the way you're using our monies, our tax monies and other things to make this country run. That's what you're supposed to be focused on. Not whether this was, I thought it would be a comical skit or some craziness like that. So you got to go. Bye now. and Weiner, what?
Anthony Weiner.
Yeah, bye. There's nothing to say about you. You need to be stoned. Put you up against a wall and just stone you. Don't kill you, but stone you. Yeah. Several times. You just need to be stoned. You're an evil man, and we need not let the evil just take its place here in our country. And that's what we seem to be doing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that when I talk about this paradox that's called the Abilene paradox. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes, right? And I'll tell you what that's all about in a few minutes and stuff. But for right now, I want to talk a little bit more about the politics and Korea. It's like, Will's with it a little bit. Korea's trying to get a missile that can reach the United States. They probably have one. Is it large enough to carry a nuclear warhead and a nuclear load? I don't know. It's like, will he really do that, or is he just posturing because he says, no, nobody treats me as though I have any kind of say in the world. So it's like I'm gonna have to have the same kind of muscle that you have, and that's all that is. If the United States has muscle in the form of nuclear weapons, and Korea has muscle in the form of nuclear weapons, then he believes that there's a balance. And he could be right. But it's just a dangerous game to play. But it's not our game to play. If we're gonna do something to try to threaten this person or impose some kind of punishment on this person, we better find out what it is we can really do. Just by posturing and saying all these things, obviously that doesn't work. He doesn't care. He's like, what? What you say? I'm ready to shoot me another missile here. Watch this. He has no kind of fear of the United States of America, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. But now this is where the people in the United States of America and the politicians, you gotta come together and find out what's going to work to kind of deter this man from doing this. You gotta come up with a plan. Your other plan ain't working. Time to throw that bad boy away. Sometimes plans have to be scrapped. And this is one time that the plan has to be scrapped. It's not working. And you can keep doing the same thing all you want. It still isn't going to work. You can see it's not going to work. And it's escalating. He's getting bigger and better missiles. Eventually he'll achieve his objective. You know, is his objective to blow up the United States? I don't think so. He still know he ain't about 2 cents worth of size when looking at $100 bill. You know, so it's like he knows that he ain't really, even with nuclear weapons, all that big enough to really make a difference. Could he kill some people? Certainly, but it won't last. It's not sustainable death. It's just a quick kill some people and then his whole country's gone. You know, but we don't want that things to happen. We don't want that to happen. We want to live in a world where people have the rights to innovate with their mind, be creative with their mind, to have fun with themselves. You know, this is what the world's all about. God didn't make the world so we can compete against each other and see who can blow up his creation first. You know, he can do that himself. He's done it a few times already. It's like, here, you want to see how to end the world? Watch this. You know, I'm good at this. You know, yeah, and then build it back up. We don't have that power. If we end it, it's gone. It's done. You know. But yeah, we're not going to impress God by throwing around nuclear weapons. So let's keep that in mind too. All right? Yeah. Because that's not going to work, and he does it much better than we do. So we have to keep that in mind too. So there's a lot to keep in mind. It's yeah. So let's stop playing around with this. At least for a holiday season. It might not be everybody's holiday, but at least for our holiday season, let's stop playing around. Let's stop trying to find all little nitty-picky things and stuff. Big things, yeah. If there's people out there using their power for any kind of perverted type of means and stuff for the sexual thing, yeah. If women don't feel comfortable in a space where they're employed or any of those things like that, yeah, bring it to somebody's attention, but don't wait 30 years. You know, that's a little long to think about it. But you know, if it's happening right now, you know, bring it to someone's attention. Bring it forward. Does there need to be some sensitivity classes on sexual harassment and sexual misconduct? This is the new phrase that they like to throw around. Sexual misconduct. And it's like, what is sexual misconduct? And the answer is anything that I say it is. You know? And it's like, that's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair. It seems to be that you're trying to get everything one way. You can't expect people just to churn over a whole new character to lease on their life, because it's not fair for you to go to the water fountain and have to overhear guys talking dirty locker room trash. You know? Guys are going to do that. I'm not defending the guys for doing that. They should be taken out for the interest, especially in politics. They should be talking about politics. They should be talking about the bills that are coming up, tax reforms and all these things like that. Not about the locker room trash talk and stuff at the water fountain. But they're men. That's what they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about sports. Men talk about sports, ladies. They talk about sports. That's what they talk about. They like talking about sports, and they like talking about women. Women like talking about men. Yeah? Let's be honest, right? Women like talking about men. Except they don't do it in public like that. Like a man, he just don't care. They're stupid. Women do it in private. Let's have a girls' night out. Okay, what they gonna do on the girls' night out? Sew baby clothes? No, they're going out drinking, talking about men. You know, what was that male nude group that they used to go see? Chippendale, the Chippendales. Yeah, ladies, I remember y'all going out to the Chippendales, bringing back your little phallic symbol lollipops and stuff like this. Yeah, you know, it's like you can't have it always your way. I mean, this is perfectly all right, but you know, you guys like to do it together in your privacy, and it's not hurting any man and stuff like that. And you like taking your little dollars and putting them in Chippendale pants and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I know the whole scene. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I was a bodyguard for a pimp. I know what you guys do. I seen all this behavior. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like that's okay if that's your fun and stuff, and it's harmless and stuff. That's all right. Guys, no, they want to take whatever they do and take it back to the water fountain and stand around and beat on their chest and talk about and stuff. Because that's what guys do. You know, so sexual misconduct, that's not sexual misconduct. And not unless it's all the way around sexual misconduct. Is it little boys, men acting like little boys? Definitely. Definitely men acting like little boys. Spank them, you know, if you want to. But you know, you got to make it fair. At least I think so, anyway. And I think actually what I really believe is that you know most people make it fair because it seems to be not so much the sexual abuse and all. It's the sexual abuse because of power. I think that's the biggest issue. But I think the news media is playing all these things with the sexual misconduct and all this other type of stuff like that. You know, and that stuff I think that I don't think the women even want to play those games like that, you know. Smart women wouldn't want to play them games. You know, a woman who's just starting out in a career wouldn't want to play those games. They're still not in the big chairs when the hiring gets to be done. They look at the resume and they're thinking, oh, there's Mary, there's Kathy, here's Jim. Jim's hired. Got Jim. You know, because they don't want to put themselves in any kind of situation where they might be accused of something. So, I mean, you got to watch out with some of this stuff. There's still a whole generation coming behind you that's going to be seeking employment whose first names are Mary, Kathy, Sue, you know, Laura, Jane, all this stuff like that. And the men are still in the big seats of hiring. And when the resume comes across, they're not looking at your face or anything. They're looking at the resume. And if they're thinking that I ain't hiring no women for the next 6 months because I'm not taking the chance, then they throw it in the garbage. You don't know. You know, how can you know? So, but I'm not saying if you're being sexually assaulted or sexually sought after or made really sexually uncomfortable, bring that stuff forward. Totally bring that stuff forward. And that person should be gone. You know, he should be gone. If he's doing that, he should be out of there and stuff. But, you know, for a game type of thing, yeah, leave that alone. I'm going to just stop one more thing because I thought it was kind of another wrong thing. What was it? The Yukon? They had a guest speaker for white right or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The white right or something. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but that's quite all right. But I don't think that anybody has the right to interrupt somebody. You can interrupt them with the heckling and the calling of the names and stuff, but you can't go up there and take their private property. And whatever on their little lexicon or their podium, that's their private property, their speech and stuff. Well, the lady went up there and took the speech for whatever reason, I don't know. And the guy, he chased her down to get the speech, and then they all scuffle around and stuff like that there. But there's boundaries, people. There's boundaries. The lady had no rights at all to go take somebody's private property. That's called stealing. You know, I don't know what else you could call it. You stole you were stealing somebody's property. You know, you could put some reasons on it if you want to. You were stealing. Whether you like the guy, dislike the guy, like the topic, dislike the topic, you can't go stealing his property. That's against the law. You know, so you gotta, you know, it's time for us to have fun. You know, and enjoy life and stop being so silly about the things that you're doing that it really makes for a bad interaction with people. And now that I got all that off my chest, because I get so tired of watching the news and all these things about all this stuff like this. I was like, wow, it's Christmas season, man. Let's talk about joy to the world. You know, let's talk about having some fun. Let's talk about peppermint candies. You know, let's talk about flying reindeer. you know, you know, fat guys in suits can't talk too much about that. He might be a predator. I don't know, but probably. If you ask a couple of my friends, they say they were saying they were all over yesterday about nursery rhymes or Walt Disney stories. So you got to be careful like that. You can twist anything around if you want to. So, but here's one of the things that's happens with a lot of people and everything, and this happens a lot more in businesses and industries and in politics too. Maybe not as much as politics because the egos are so large, but definitely in businesses, in your home, in just your regular walk of life and your interactions with people. And what this is that happens is called the Abilene paradox. And this was actually something that was created. The paradox itself, the story was created by this guy, Jerry Harvey of George Washington University. And what he described a trip that he and his wife and parents made on a 104-degree day in July, right? They took a trip from Colleen, Texas to Abilene, Texas, in a 1958 Buick that had no air conditioning. You know, this is at least 100 miles, I'm assuming, you know, taking this trip in 104-degree weather with no air conditioning. Yeah? And they all tactically agreed that we need to take a trip to go over here and visit this other part of the family and everything. Yeah, we need to do this. Yeah, that would be a good thing to visit everybody. So what they were doing, the paradox here is that they were talking about the agreement on taking the trip. Yeah, but it turned out nobody wanted to go in the 58 Buick. But they didn't say that. That's what the Abilene paradox is all about. And that's what we do in our walk of life so much times now. They all agreed it'd be great to go over to Abilene and see the rest of the family and all those people like that. But they all never voiced that they didn't want to go with I would say refrigerator, a car with no air conditioning, you know, in 104-degree weather. And we do this all the time, folks. We don't interact with people on the level of just saying something. We just sit there and be silent. And that's where the problem comes in. That's where these type of paradoxes take place. You know, what we do is it's a pluralistic ignorance is what it really is. Everybody just becomes so ignorant to the fact that they assume. You make assumptions on this here. You know, they often believe you're sitting there. You know, how many times you're sitting there in the house and stuff like that, and you might be in the house and your wife says to you and the kids, "Oh, what do you want for supper?" And there's a big silence that comes over the room. You know, what do you want? I don't know. I don't care. But you already know what you want for supper. You just don't say it. You know. So the wife said, "Okay, we'll have fish." And then I don't want fish. I didn't want that fish. I wanted hot dogs and beans, you know. So you end up with fish, you know. See, this is what we need to. This is, you know, that's kind of comical, but that's true because you know that happens in every household within the United States. That's what happens. You end up with something that you didn't want because you didn't say anything. That silence is loud. That's a loud silence. Because as long as that silence is there, your voice isn't being heard. Nobody can read your mind. So you're not getting what you want. And this is what we do as an archangel. You look at something, and we do this on a different thing too. You see somebody, oh man, should I go help that person? And the person's thinking, oh, I wish somebody would help me or something like that. So y'all just pass, just like that. You don't help, they don't ask. There's again that right when that point where you have that personal interaction, here comes that silence. Well, yeah, they don't want any help anyway. You start to justify it by yourself. You start to believe that they didn't want any help, and then the other person starts to believe, well, they didn't want to help me anyway. And then before you know it, you got an enemy. Well, they didn't like me. Yeah, I know she didn't like me, he didn't like me. And then the next thing you know, you got a whole war going on where somebody could have just did something by offering the help. They might have had a box that was too big and heavy, and you could see him lumbering around with this big box, and you say, hey, you need a hand? I get that box. Well, how long is it going to take you to carry that box up, the few steps for them or something? But you don't do that. Because you think, well, they don't need a hand. And like I said, they're thinking, oh, they'll never ask me if I need a hand and stuff. And that's the paradigm. And that's as an archangel is something that we should be aware of. On both fronts. Archangels, it's just not a return in a chivalrous manner to doing things for other people. It's a return in a chivalrous manner by allowing yourself to allow people to do things for you. And that's even harder than the first step. It's really easy to ask somebody, hey, can I get that for you? You need a hand? Sure, that's real easy, isn't it? Well, of course it is. You say, hey, what's up? You need a hand? I got that. But the hard part is when you need a hand, and you say, no, it's all right. Like you don't want to burden them people. And see, that's where the thing is you're actually doing a privilege. You're offering a privilege to people by just allowing them into your life like that. And that's a privilege to people. And it's hard. There's a lot. I don't let people do things for me. It's just something that I don't do. I don't feel like it's just me. It's like I don't want to inconvenience anyone. I'm exactly like what I'm talking about. They don't want to do that for me anyways. And, they don't have to. It's just an inconvenience. I can handle it and all this stuff. I got that independent nature like that. But, if you have that independent nature like that, then it's all right. Not all right. But sometimes, if you're really struggling and stuff and somebody just offers to give you a hand and stuff, let them have that privilege, because that's what that's all about. You actually giving them a privilege to do something that makes them feel good. And in return, you get to feel relief from the stress of what you were doing. So, it's a win-win all the way around. But we don't do that so much. We wanna be silent. And we do it all the time, and it's amazing. Especially in corporate businesses and meetings and stuff are where these things really take place. So I've been talking to the business people out there and the leaders of our corporate environments and stuff. How many times you've been in a meeting, but you're not the boss, and the question comes up, what are we going to do? Well, the question ain't even phrased like that. The question would probably be phrased on something. Well, it's showing that we're losing money over here. We really got our money loss going over here. We got to find a way to do this here. And you're sitting there being quiet because you're thinking to yourself, nobody's going to listen to what I have to say. So I'll just be quiet. But what you're thinking is, yeah, we got a money problem over here, but I think that money problem's coming because of this. So you got this whole board over here thinking about what are we going to do about this drainage of money over here? How are we going to fix that? We're going to plug that drain, you know? And it ain't the plug that's needed. You need to put something in and get the clog that's down here. And you see the clog because that's where you are in the business. So you see the clog. They don't see the clog. They're looking for the solution. They're looking for the plug to make that money drain stop. You know, they want to stop that money drain so it goes and starts to produce a future. And like I say, you see the clog right here. Well, it ain't getting that far up. It's not a real drain. There's nothing that's draining out of it. It's just not reaching there because this is the problem down here. But you don't say anything. So they figure they have no other recourse but to figure, well, yeah, he's right in step with us. So they never asked your opinion. So your silence could have been the hero. You're the hero. You showed them that there's a clog in the system that's downstream. And if we just undo this little downstream clog, then it'll flow right. You know? So, but like I said, they're not looking at that. They're looking at, we gotta fix that. We gotta find the solution to fix that and stuff like that. And that happens a lot when it comes to businesses and stuff. More often than you would think. So I was just talking to the business people. And that really takes place quite a lot. And is it easy to get around that? No, it's not easy because one, if you don't feel included, then you're not going to say anything. You know, and that inclusion part, that's where Archangel comes in. Because if you don't feel included enough to let somebody assist you, you won't feel included to give your opinion to somebody where you're offering to help. You know, it's hard when it comes to that, and that's in anything. So it's really this paradox, this Abilene paradox of not speaking up what's truly what you want to say is really something that, as an archangel and somebody whose life is devoted to just wanting to do the right thing, is something to be wary of. You know, you want to be leery of that paradox like that. So, you know, don't go in no 1958 Buicks in Texas in 104-degree weather and drive 100 miles. That's silly. But don't carry a 100-pound box when somebody says you need a hand, you know. And even though you might have started out with the little problem and stuff, but it was an easy little problem what you started out, but the time and weight started to wear on it and it become bigger and bigger. And if somebody can see you suffering and they ask for, hey, you need a hand, you need any help? Not just the physical help, but like with the clog downstream of the money drain, you know. You might just want to say to the boss, look here, boss, you know, this is what I think might be the problem. You could phrase it like that as long as your voice is being heard. You don't have to come out and say, this is the problem. You know, that arrogance like that's not going to work. But you might come out and say, you know, I work down here in the first step of the manufacturing of this big thing that we're doing and stuff, and I noticed that further down we got robots further down here like this. So I'm not able to get my product up there fast enough to the robot. You know, because once the robot gets it, bang, it's gone. So when it gets up this end, there's no money there because I'm not being able to supply my product fast enough for the robot who's making it go too fast for it to look as though there's a money problem. So here's your problem down here. You have to be able to make the product that's needed fast enough so that the robot isn't going at 2 or 3 times your normal speed, and then everybody else is slowing down. You know? You think they're going faster, but they can't go faster because they don't have nothing to go with. So you see what I'm saying? That's the problem. But if you didn't say anything, they won't look at that problem. They'll look at, well, how come we're not making the money out of this here? You know, we should be making money. Yeah, you should be. All the data indicates that it should be making money from the robot forward, not from the guy before the robot. 'Cause he didn't have a robot. He got a needle and thread. He's sewing like this in the window, looking for a Lady Godiva to ride by. And what was that lady riding on a horse naked for anyway? What's up with that? You know, that's Mike. You need to look up that little nursery rhyme, that little fairy tale. So that's a little bit about the Abilene paradox, you know. Yeah, and it's a true. This is true stuff, you know, and it really affects somebody as an archangel because it can really make you feel uncomfortable just by offering to help somebody, where it's like, you know, you don't have to feel uncomfortable. When you're offering somebody to help, and it's a sincere offer of help, you know, the privilege is shifted to the other side. It's the person who accepts the help is actually giving the privilege back to the person. It's like that's where the privilege is, not this way. You know, it's not the privilege. Oh, I'm doing you a privilege by offering the help. No, it's actually I'm doing the privilege by allowing you to help me because I respect you enough to allow you to help me. You know, so it's a reversal like that. At least I think so, anyway. And we'll have to write about that and get it read. Yeah, we can do that. Now we want to talk a little bit too about personal identification and how that is tied to one's commitment. The withdrawal from a commitment may result in a perceived loss of status, a threat to one's identity. Yeah, because you know why? This is why. No one likes to admit that their decisions were wrong. Yeah, and this is just as important when it comes to things of being an archangel. Because you don't want to admit you're wrong. Nobody likes to admit they're wrong. So offering help to somebody, you know, it's just, or doing something nice for somebody, you're looking for your status to be increased. Most people, this is seemed to be an American thing. This kind of competition of I'm better than this person and us against them. So you're looking for your status to be increased by offering to do something that's just the right thing to do. You know? But you know that the person that you're offering it to, you got an idea of some of these people that you offer to, and then, you know, if they don't accept your offer, now you feel as though, what's wrong with me? You know, and then this attacks your status because nobody likes to be wrong. It's like, well, I was doing a good thing. I offered to help you. How come you didn't take my help? You know, like I said, that's where the privilege is coming from. The person receiving the help, because they may not they didn't see you as somebody with great status that you see yourself with, so they're not gonna really want to take your help. It's the way you approach them and stuff. If you're approaching them from a position where you're doing this to make yourself look good, it's like, oh yeah, you know, I always go over there and I help out the poor and I feed the poor on Thanksgiving, and I always give them my old clothes and stuff like this. Oh man, I do so much for the poor. You should see me the way I interact with the poor and stuff. I'm right there with the poor. Me and the poor are like this, you know, like way far apart from each other. You know, and you know, and then when they're not getting any response back from these people, this hurts their status, their little thing, so they stop. You know, they stop because they don't want to be wrong. So now they're gone from all this kind of trying to build this character of being the altruistic superstar of the world to being somebody who ain't gonna help anybody. I'm not gonna help them because they don't want my help. You know, they like being like that. You know, they enjoy being poor. This is what they want to do. You know that that's what they want to do. How many times have you heard that? You know, you hear that a lot. You know, because they don't understand. They don't. It's not that they don't understand. What it is they don't want to be seen as wrong. You know, they don't want their little fantasy status to be attacked as though that they were doing something that wasn't altruistic and stuff and wasn't being received. So they stop. And we get that a lot in today's world. Or they do it just to build their status. We get that a lot with the homeless. Yeah, and the opioid crisis. I think everybody now they got their little hooray for me buttons on and stuff like that because of the pharmaceutical industry has given out less pharmaceutical drugs, and that's great for the pharmaceutical industry end of the thing. But the drugs are on the street. There's street drugs that are killing these people. You know. But they're going to pat themselves on the back and they're going to prop up their status and stuff like this. And then what's going to happen when the death rate doesn't go down significantly, like they want to keep the death rate in line with the amount of pharmaceutical drugs that haven't been given out, they stop. They're going to stop doing this kind of thing. Well, we can't do this. This isn't working, you know, because there's no status in it for them. There's nothing in it, and they don't want to be wrong. So they're not gonna follow that track any longer, and that's a big problem, you know, when it comes to being real within the world as an archangel. As an archangel, if you see the thing and you know it's the right thing to do, then you do the right thing. You eliminate the status out of it. You take you out the equation as somebody who's going to come across as getting the prize or the sticker on their head or the nice pat on the back or anything. You just did the right thing. And because you did the right thing, the problems start to be solved. Because without the status, you can look at the whole picture. Because you're not in it, you're backed up. You're looking at the whole picture now. You're seeing where the problem is. Is the problem the pharmaceutical drug? If you're talking about grannies and you're talking about people going and getting pain medications for toenail removal or something like that, then an overprescribed pharmaceutical thing is the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. But is that the solution? No, because the real problem comes because the drugs are on the street. They're street drugs they're buying because they're cheaper than the pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceuticals might have been part of the catalyst initiator, but after that, it's the problem, and it's not the problem anymore because the drugs are already there. The people that are experimenting with drugs, they're not experimenting that big with pharmaceuticals. They're going for the hard stuff. They're going for the easy, hard, cheap stuff. That's what they're going for. So there's no status in that. And without that status, people stop. And once they stop, the problem just builds back up on itself. Because you can't, with this kind of personal identification type of thing, you can't rely on just data and facts alone, because the data itself is going to be tainted to fit your boosted status that you're trying to get. You're going to take the data from the sources that's going to make you look good. But does that solve the problem? No. Same with like the homeless situation. Yeah, well, they got more solutions. They got more band-aids for the homeless situation than solving the real problem. What's the real problem? Everybody can see one of the real problems that's happening with the homeless situation. They ain't got no money. But that's one of the starts of the problem. The other problem is if they get the money, they don't know what to do with it because they don't have anything to do with it. So they're going to spend it. And what is one of the things we like to pat ourselves on the back with? Black Friday, they spent $5 billion. That's the highest record that we've had in spending black. And then Cyber Monday outdid that, and it's going to be a great holiday season. What does that have to do with helping the homeless people who ain't got any money? Absolutely nothing. Does it build the status of some people? Oh yeah. All kinds of people. If you got the money, oh man, you should have seen me on Black Friday. I got this special deal and all these things like that. And I really was out there. My tactics were sound. I had a plan. I was going in and I was taking 2 lefts and a right, and I was right there. You know, everybody else was just going straight, but I had went in there on Wednesday, and I had paced it out, and I knew just how many steps I had to take in case I couldn't see where the churn and stuff. Oh, I was really planned, and I got this, and I bought it, and it's beautiful. Well, what is it? It's a rubber duck. You know, it's a big yellow rubber duck. You should see it. It's great. Oh wow! What is it? It's those towels. I never forget that. They were grabbing towels, folks. They were grabbing eyefull of towels, like they had done something, like they had accomplished something, like these towels made them a better person. This is really a crazy problem. This is really bad. But you can see how those kind of actions, they don't do anything for helping somebody who's in need, for doing the right thing. They don't do absolutely nothing for that, you know? To fix this homeless and the drug epidemics as an archangel, you have to interact with the people. You got to ask them, how you doing? You don't have to ask them, what do you need? What do you want? You already know what they need and what they want. You know, you don't have to duplicate somebody else's program for them and stuff, but you can just see them and say hi as you see them and stuff like that. You don't have to put money into people that are out there on the street corners with their little things of, I'm homeless and I'm hungry and stuff like this. I can see that, but you know, me giving you $1 builds my status. It doesn't build yours. It doesn't even may help you. And I can hardly justify it because in the back of my mind, I will say like everybody else, because you fall into that thing, oh, he's just going to use it for drugs, or she's going to use it for drugs. They're not going to use it for getting food. And they can go get food at the pantries. There's lots of places to get food and stuff, but they don't want to go there. So to really address these problems, you have to look at the people, and you have to just say hi and listen to what they say. But there's no status in that. Your personalized identification doesn't have a place to go. And because you can't be wrong, so you don't do anything. You see how that works like that? I can't be wrong, because I can't help you just by saying hi, you know? It's not going to work because there's no status for me, so I'm not going to do anything. And that's pretty much where we are when we start addressing these problems. You know, we let all the big names and all the big people go get some data from some search monkey engine and stuff, and then we put that out there like this shows that we're doing the right thing. Look how the amount of prescription drugs has gone down. It's gone down 5%. So, wow, we're really on track now to do the right thing. Well, what's the death rate for people overdosing on the drugs? Well, it's the same. It's the same. It might be a little higher, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this prescription drug. Look at that, 5% right there. Look at that. That's huge. That's huge, man. I got those numbers. I did that. That's huge. Yeah, but all the people that die, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. You know, and it's like, yeah, then when you call them on their status producing type of data things, and when they can't get the status that they want, they stop. Because one, they don't know what to do. They wasted all that time just thinking about their own self-interest that they really don't know who they're addressing, how they're helping somebody. It's really a hard type of thing like this. So these two go together: the personal identification and the Abilene type of paradox and stuff. You know, if you're too quiet and you know the answers to the situation, then you're not doing anybody any good. You're not fixing the problem. You just, everybody will take you at your word, and your word is silence. Yeah, that's all they're going to hear from you. So whatever's on the menu is what they'll be fed. I'm sure you've done that too, and going out with I'm back on the paradox of Abilene. You know, I'm sure you've been with a group of people and say, hey, where you want to go? Want to go get some pizza? You want to go get some hot wings? You want to go get a steak? You want to go get this and that and the other thing? And you want to go get a pizza, but you don't want to upset nobody, so you just say, and you be quiet, you know? It's like, I really want a pizza. And instead of saying, I want to go get a pizza, you say nothing and you end up with hot wings. You know? And it's like, okay, you may like hot wings or not, but you wanted that pizza, but you just never opened up and said anything. And that's that paradox. And then like with the personality, it's the same thing. You know, if you follow that Abilene paradox and your personal identity, except it's a little bit on the reverse now. You're going to say a whole lot of stuff about how great and wonderful you are in solving the situation. But you haven't done anything to solve the situation. You've just gathered some data to make the situation look as though it's doing something. And you know that you can't justify things by just having data. So you know, we have this tendency to ignore the things right in front of us because there's no status to it. Well, I got 5 minutes left, and I was just talking about those things. Now I'm just talking just the last 5 minutes about the Christmas season coming up. Yeah, I think a couple of days from now it's going to be December 1st. And then we're really into it. You know, you got the big December name right up front, and we're gonna be having Christmas lights all over the place. They're there now, but we're gonna have better Christmas lights. You're gonna have Christmas tree lightings at that, like in Boston for the Prudential Center, and we'll still have their Christmas tree lighting. In New York will have their Christmas tree lighting, and you'll have ice skating on the commons and stuff. And it's going to be a time full of lots and lots of fun and joy if you allow yourself the privilege and the pleasure and the opportunity to go have that fun. If you don't allow yourself that, then you're not going to have much fun like that. You know, you can try to do this thing and try to boost your status and image by buying presents for people. You know, if you want to, that might work. It'd be nice. I mean, if you can, then if you see somebody, you know, what? But see, that's the whole thing. You won't buy a present for somebody who, out of the kindness of your heart, you buy a present for somebody who you really don't like, but you want to just kind of tell them, yeah, that's right, I got you something, you dirty, no good SOB. You know? And that's basically what you're going to do. I don't like you anyways, but I'm a bigger person than you are, so I bought you something. Your personal identification, you're going to try to boost your status with that, with buying those presents. Don't do it, folks. Be an archangel. Enjoy the light, enjoy the moment, enjoy the lights, enjoy the bit of cold on your face. Best warmly, of course, you know, but let that cold kind of bite your little cheeks and stuff like that, and feel that, and hug up on your loved one and stuff. Don't just hug up on anyone. Seems you get in trouble for that stuff now, but you know, just hug up on, you know, and just walk around holding hands on a Christmas kind of pre-Christmas Eve or something like that, or a day, and take the time to just enjoy all the things to enjoy in life. I would suggest, if you really want to try some of these things and do some of these things, don't do it in a restaurant. Don't go to a heated restaurant and buy your the same meal you would have bought in July. You know, that's not a Christmassy thing. Go down there and see Laza Lake, the something religious and stuff like that. Go down there and see the Christmas tree lightings and stuff. See the Christmas trees and walk around and look at the store windows and see all the things that are going around and just enjoy them. Let them wash all over you and just have that joy and fun. And if you see somebody who's got a face better than yours or you know, give them a hi, give them a smile. That's gonna heat them up. You know, that's all that, you know, 'cause they're out there looking for that same type of thing. Some are out there trying to find gifts so that they can, you know, increase their status by giving it to the person that they hate. But say hi to them too. It's like, hey man, you should go over here. You get a gift, a good gift for that SOB, right over there. You know, you can do all that. Then, you know, go get jelly beans with them or something. You know. I mean, there's a whole lot of joy and fun to be had out there. You know, take your little kids out there walking. You know, and maybe it'll be brisk and clearing up so that they can actually see the stars that's out there on the December stars look really bright. I don't know the atmospheric things. I don't know anything about that, but they look bright in December. So, you know, you take your kids out there and you're showing them all the Christmas tree type of things, and they're all bundled up and everything, and you're freezing to death, but you're showing how cool you are. Yeah, I mean, going out there, enjoy that moment, man, because it comes and it goes so fast, and let the privileges of just mount up that people will give you if they see that you're a sincere individual and stuff. The other stuff won't be privileges. They won't mount up. They won't do anything. They'll actually make you bitter if you think, well, they should have accepted what I was giving them. I said hello to them and they didn't say hello to me. Hey, that's got nothing to do with you. You don't have to justify that. All right, folks. That was I liked it anyway. I don't care. I do care about how you guys received that. And anyway, I want everybody. We got some more days before Christmas to come up and everything. I'm gonna talk about. I want to get a little bit more into physical fitness for Christmas. I want to get a little bit into eating habits of Christmas, and I want to get a lot more into the love. I'm not going to apologize for going on the political spin that I went on first, because I just think it's needed. I'm supposed to be an archangel of return to chivalry, and if I'm not going to say anything about all these things that are going on that really are tearing this country apart and it's not doing the country any good service, then I'm wrong. I'm making believe that I'm an archangel, and that's not what I'm supposed to be. So I had to talk about those things like that. Well, I'm Trooper Joe, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and everybody go have that fun and, you know, enjoy the moment. All right, I'm out.